Well, this is indeed an amazing vehicle.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Jones. She's had a few knocks over the years, but nothing we haven't been able to put right. Oh. Well, almost nothing. Very glad to have you with us today, by the way.
I'm very glad to be here.
But time's a-wasting, so if you could get on with the button pressing.
Yeah, of course, I understand the urgency of the situation.
Thank you, that's lovely.
I'm afraid I didn't catch your name.
Oh, Chris Dale, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And if you could just pass me the printout.
One moment.
That's it, thank you. Okay, well, we're back with Stingray today for Eastern Eclipse.
If you would be good enough to lead the way.
Stingray! Stingray! Stingray!
So, we welcome back to the randomizer. It's Stingray, and we're in an odd position here because we are doing the second episode here of a pair of linked stories that we haven't done the first episode of yet. It's been a rule on the randomizer that if I get a two-part story on the randomizer, I will do part 1 first and part 2 second, but these episodes are more linked than being a part 1 and a part 2, so unfortunately we haven't had the episode that sets it all up yet. But here we go.
Star 2. Are you receiving me?
It's very easy to catch up.
20 miles east of
The Wasps have in their jail a Eastern dictator named El Hudat
Ali Kali.
of Hudatvia, former president of Hudatvia. He was deposed by his brother
I'll at the airfield. Okay.
at the end of Star of the East. That was the episode that introduced the character.
Star 2 from Marineville.
But now it seems that everything's gone a bit wrong in Hudatvia.
Call when approaching airfield.
Eastern Star 2. Thank you.
He's president of one of the richest countries in the world, and he'll be here in less than 5 minutes.
Why no official notification of his arrival?
You know Ali Kali, Troy, just like his twin brother El Hudat.
What I find interesting about this is that these two episodes were...
Through his brother. He wants El Hudat to remain right where he is, in jail.
They were made about 10, 12 episodes apart. Generally, they've
Passenger liners?
been shown, and at times, I think the VHS release put them quite close together.
It's on the video phone.
Yes, sir.
But it's still a long time to wait before revisiting the character, and I always wonder if the plan with Ali Kali, no, even El Hudat, sorry, was... see, I'm already getting them the wrong way around, and that's a huge part of the story. I often wonder if Star of the East was written with the possibility of revisiting the character, or if someone found the puppet hanging up somewhere near the end of a series of Stingray and thought,
They take a while to reduce that.
be a nice character to revisit. Anywho, I'm glad they did, because this is one of my favourite episodes.
Craft he's coming in, you can bet it'll be the biggest and the latest.
Yes. But of course it's not. It's not any of those
How long will it...
supersonic transports and exciting planes that Troy and Fisher were gawking at there on the screen. Instead, that he's flying X20 Airlines.
We're heading away from it.
So we are. Now enjoy the flight.
In a very old, knackered plane, and of course X20 is wearing another fabulous disguise.
Are we not going...
Just pure Biggles flying gear, right down to the handlebar moustache.
My plans.
What do you mean? Your plans?
Do not worry your camel's brain. You will not be around to appreciate them.
Oh, Ali Kali is starting to get the feeling that something isn't quite right here.
I am in the hands of a madman. He's taking me away from Marineville. Arrest him, you dog-eared jackal.
We can see immediately that Ali Kali is exactly like El Hudat in every way, right down to being the same puppet, voiced by the same artist, David Graham, saying the same kind of things. And, well, the plane is cruising around the area of the island of Lemoyne.
They can do nothing.
That was a nice touch. A panel just flew off the side of the aircraft there. Now X20 has parachuted out, which leaves our exiled president alone in the plane. It also makes me think of that bit...
This is Ali Kali. Engine is failing. My pilot has bailed out. Bravely and with fearless courage, I am going to follow.
Oh dear, yes, and this is fun as well. His bravery and pomposity slightly undercut by
Parachute!
no parachute.
Somebody save me!
no dignity, no bravery at all. Instantly, we just know and love this character. We completely understand who it is because we've met his brother before, and he's just as cowardly and just as pathetic as El Hudat. But what I like about that is with X20 in the back, presumably he was the pilot. It reminded me of that bit from More Haste, Less Speed. I thought the pilot always sat in the back. But Ali Kali seems to have taken control from the front seat. Nobody of that bulk would ever consider manoeuvring into the back seat while the plane was in flight.
Flying.
At least it's heading in the right direction.
Yeah, straight for us.
Ali Kali used that heap of junk.
There can only be one reason, Troy. He's had to leave his country in a hurry, and the first aircraft he could lay his hands on.
And that means trouble. Possibly a counter-revolution.
Oh.
The man in our jail, his brother, El Hudat, is probably back in power.
So all sorts of political intrigues have affected the Stingray cast, none of which they were aware of. They were just thinking it was going to be another quiet day, minding their own business, and now absolute chaos at Marineville.
Perfect landing.
And this sequence of Ali Kali trying and failing multiple times to effect a landing, to be fair to him, he did try to... he made it to the runway there. As you can hear, he overshot slightly. Nice markings on the plane as well there, APF1.
Down, everyone! He's coming straight for us!
And this is just brilliant stuff, this idea of this... for all of the threats that Marineville has faced over the years, all of the bombings and alien attacks and whatever, the most powerful, destructive weapon they have ever faced is this
Proceed, X20. What have you...
fat despot in an out-of-control plane.
Well, I started
I do wonder to a certain extent why they don't just call battle stations and either have him shot down, which I suspect would cause some kind of diplomatic incident, but why can't they just sort of lower the buildings and save at least a few of them
finish his claims to the presidency.
from what we're going to see will happen.
Part of the plan completed.
This is a very long sequence of Ali Kali causing destruction all over the place, but it's also a heck of a lot of fun.
That aircraft.
Good. Then the way is clear for you to put his brother El Hudat back in power.
And what's fun with this as well is that in Star of the East, Titan and X20 were nowhere to be seen. They, Ali Kali was I've done it again. El Hudat. This is going to keep happening, I think. El Hudat was just a one-off guest character who had no relation to anybody. As far as we knew, he wasn't even aware that there was any life under the sea. And as with several, I think, more successful Titan and X20 stories, the fact that they've allied themselves with a human, whether wittingly, as in this case, or unwittingly, as with Duke Dexter, for instance, it just brings so much to all of these characters.
It's gonna crash!
It's still hurtling around the place. Oh yeah, there's a sign. Fly Superjet from Marineville. Have to replace that sign now. Oh, crashed into a security checkpoint.
Wreck the entire base.
Luckily, it wasn't the one that the security checkpoint guys normally sit in, but I'm sure if we had lost the security checkpoint guys, nobody would really have cared because
Here he comes again!
they don't add much to the proceedings. But this is all great fun. It does admittedly go on for a very long time, and if you haven't read, actually, Jack Knoll's recent wonderful series of Stingray blogs on his Security Hazard website, he suggests that this is as long as it is because it is, essentially padding for an episode that's underrunning.
He'll pull out in time.
Which I suppose is probably the reason, but it's great fun.
That's right. Nothing to worry about.
Especially all this as Troy and Fisher and Shaw alone.
Where's pull out?
Trying to convince themselves he's not going to hit the tower. No, that's not how it works. It's just like in the movies. Troy says it's like in the movies. And as he says it, Fisher is just quietly making his way behind the edge of a console, just to give himself a bit of protection. Which, all things considered, was a good idea.
Made it.
Because Ali Kali has arrived in style.
Big landing, but I did it.
And some brilliant puppetry as well here, as he manages to stand up, delivers his little speech about how brave he is, and then just collapses into the seat.
Closer. It was all I could get.
But I do still find this is one of the funniest scenes in Stingray, and I felt that since I first saw it. I never saw this one as a kid, I don't think. I probably first saw it when the... Oh, he's gone again. It's a brilliant shot. I think I first saw it when the DVDs came out, so I would have been about 15, 16. And even then, at that age, I still found it hugely entertaining.
But only mean one thing.
I think, actually, I might have seen this episode before Star of the East.
Here in Marineville, who helped to overthrow me.
What are
There we
you...
go again, yes. Just like El Hudat. He smells conspiracy everywhere, particularly in Marineville.
Then who was it? Someone has plotted with my brother to overthrow
And
me.
as Jack discussed on the Security Hazard blog, this may have also been done because we were coming to the end of production on Stingray and they legitimately trashed the control tower set. That may have been one of the last scenes. Well, if it was trashed for real, that would have been the last scene shot on the control tower set. This is, I think, episode 36 in production order, so they could have easily reworked the schedule so that that sequence was filmed last, and then they just, you know, destroyed the set, which is unfortunate, but it does happen. It happened in XL5 and others.
Quiet! Sun-eating scorpion.
And that's interesting because X20 has now donned another disguise to play El Hudat's lawyer. He's gone in to see El Hudat in prison, and Abu is there, who was El Hudat's helper / advisor / kidnapper of Marina. And in that sequence, or that line he said just there, "But we are in jail," that was Robert Easton doing the voice as he did last time, but it wasn't the same voice
Don't forget your...
as he used last time, and yet Abu will have one more line where he used his old voice. It's quite strange.
Of course. I am a man of my word.
He's got a lot of medals, yes. Medal for, I suspect, conspicuous gallantry and obvious bravery and...
Oh, wait till I get my hands on that fat pig of a brother. You... But I thought you were...
And it's great as well that we actually have the two puppets. It's not, you know, that they've got the one puppet and they're just doing some very clever editing with it. We do see them on screen together frequently. I believe it's a reuse of the Master Spy puppet, certainly the body. Perhaps the head is also heavily modified from Master Spy. And it's interesting and quite sweet as well that...
Commander, it seems that you have a...
because it obviously is the same puppet body, the puppet walks in a very similar way to Master Spy, which is fun.
things over quietly together. They may be able to solve their differences and agree to rule jointly.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Let's get one thing straight. El Hudat doesn't leave that cell.
Of course.
There's another... This is a really good episode, actually, for fabulous X20 disguises, because after the pilot, he's now a bowler-hatted lawyer, even with a little, bow tie and a flower in his lapel.
About secret matters of state. And anyway, I shall be here to keep the peace.
And I'm very trustworthy, and you've never seen me before.
I want no trouble. Understand?
Perfectly, Commander.
Well, that's it then.
You...
Time to hatch a plan to get El Hudat out and keep Ali Kali in.
Wouldn't rule with you for all your...
Because X20 is alone with the pair of them, plus Abu in the cell. Shaw has agreed to wait outside.
is enough to make the camel thirst for poison.
But your excellencies, won't you try to see eye to eye?
Yeah, that's the other line that Abu delivers in his old voice before he gets knocked out.
Well done. He needed to be shut up. Yes. And so do you, pig-faced hyena.
Anything to oblige.
Oh, yes, that's now Ali Kali clubbed and knocked out. Yeah, X20 managed to smuggle, if not a club, it looks like a baseball bat into the cell. I wonder if this is the same baseball bat that Titan used on him at the end of the master plan.
You're sure?
Well, I suppose if it worked on him, it's, you know, he's clearly taking lessons from Titan at times, I think.
How did it go?
El Hudat won't even speak to Ali Kali. Look how he sulks.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Ali Kali and Abu are just in a sort of daze, a slump at the moment.
Join you there. Maybe I can talk some sense into El Hudat.
A very good idea, Commander. A very good idea.
Yeah, because evidently you've had 12 episodes to get on with that, and nothing's happened.
Cooperate with your brother. I could maybe get you released from jail.
It's interesting as well here that Shaw is
You sickers.
quite happy to... Oh, there they go, falling over backwards. The right moment for comedic effect for that to happen. Yeah, it's interesting that Shaw is perfectly happy for the jail cell to be left open to Ali Kali and Abu.
Skate.
While he negotiates with them, because, you know, there's nothing that could possibly go wrong.
Jailbreak!
Two large, presumably quite strong men versus one guy in a wheelchair. Anywho, X20 has got El Hudat out of the Marineville jail.
Troy, I was tricked.
Guess so, sir.
That makes a change, sir. Usually it's one of us who's done that.
I want personally to wring his neck.
Oh dear, yes. Ali Kali is awake and out for blood.
Until the emergency squad have got the control tower fixed, Atlanta.
They're still trying to free Lieutenant Fisher from underneath that console he got crushed under. Yeah, we don't see Fisher again after the crash on the control tower, which is quite
They
ominous.
haven't left by air, so we can only assume they'll travel by sea.
I must get back to my country before my brother takes over.
There's something as well that's quite fun with the El Hudat and Ali Kali puppets is when they want to rant in someone's face, the puppeteer gets them up really close so that whoever they're talking to,
With any luck, we'll arrive.
whether it's Shaw there or I think Marina in Star of the East, the puppet they're talking to actually has to recoil because they're just so in their face. Nice touch as well there that all of the equipment's been moved out of the Marineville control tower into the Shaw house. I guess there's no other set in which you could store it.
Good. Maintain full speed.
So,
I have now rescued El Hudat from the Marineville jail.
Excellent. You have done well.
Titan is using an extreme close-up on himself this week on X20's monitor.
Guard,
Glub glub,
order a mechanical fish to leave immediately for the island of Lemoyne.
glub glub.
Pick up El Hudat to return him to Hudatvia at full speed.
Again, that's one of those moments where I once put some subtitles on a video on my YouTube channel of aquamphibians chattering to each other what they might be saying. I've always felt that moment there was just, no, didn't understand a word of that. Didn't understand a word of that, whatever.
Hudat will be on his way, and Hudatvia will be ours.
But it's interesting as well that Titan has chosen to get involved with politics this week as well. He's clearly studied what's going on the land. He has an interest, which is fun. I'm sure a lot of it is relayed via X20. But it's another nice angle in which to take the character. They were always finding with Titan and X20 interesting plans for them to hatch. I don't think there was ever a moment where you think, hang on, this is just a bit beneath them.
El Hudat.
Yeah, must be quite an organization.
Organization. That is the key to my success.
And modesty, much like the man I am assisting. Oh, I also love this that Titan has a map of the world.
And is on his way to Hudatvia.
Well, I say a map of the world, it's just a map of one piece of ocean with the island of Hudatvia.
It's our first foothold on the land masses.
And now a look at tomorrow's weather. If we... He's just... He does look like he's making a weather report there. I love it. I also love, actually, in one shot, you can see on a table behind Titan what I think are the reused models of Stingray and a Terrorfish that he and X20 were playing with in the master plan when they were plotting their scheme to poison Troy. I just love that Titan has those models on hand to plot various schemes and master plans with.
Guys not only look alike, they have the same line of pattern.
And I'm going to stand here and let him rant in Marina's face.
Heard it all before. From your brother.
Do not mention that son of a pig to me.
Yeah, but poor old Marina has been invited along on this mission to follow El Hudat in Stingray along with Ali Kali. You would think after the last time, when El Hudat kidnapped her, they would say, hey, you know what, Marina?
We shall arrive.
Take the week off. It's fine.
It will be done then.
Oh, rare moment of aquamphibians chatting to each other in English. I also love the shot of Ali Kali just covered in grease from a very fattening meal, including a chicken bone there. It's just the idea of the aquamphibians having to lay on all that food for him.
Well, I guess it won't be for much longer. We'll be approaching the harbor in an hour.
Yeah.
Good. They are nearly there. Now nothing can go wrong.
Oh dear, yes, he said it now. Anywho, speaking of timing, I should probably mention that you join me as I record this. I've been rewatching Stingray one episode a week on Tuesdays, which at the present time, it's the anniversary screening of each episode. So as I record this episode, it's the 7th of March, 2023. This episode was transmitted first on the 7th of March, 1965. So although you're not going to be hearing this on the anniversary of this episode's broadcast, I am recording it on the anniversary of this episode's broadcast.
All my dreams titans of victory.
And you're very welcome to join me as Titan prematurely declares victory, but unfortunately... What's this on his map?
Stingray!
Oh no!
Mechanical fish! This is Titan!
You would think for his weather map there that he might have a more...
Attack and...
I'm not sure, just his icon for Stingray might be a bit less complimentary than a picture of the actual craft. But here we go. The Terrorfish containing Ali Kali has turned to attack Stingray.
Boy, there's a vessel approaching underwater.
And Troy is shaving. Oh no. Do they have to wait until Troy has finished his daily grooming ritual? Oh, this is always good stuff though. Even though, I mean, by this point in the series we've got so many shots of Stingray and the Terrorfish that
Fish.
I doubt they would have needed to shoot
Organize the whole thing.
any more footage for this. Oh, that's it. They've opened fire. Look out, Stingray. Oh no, yeah, that's the same explosion from episode 2.
Return the fire.
Oh, will they get him? Yes! First time. And I always wondered whenever Stingray hit the Terrorfish if any of the Aquamphibians survived.
Surface and stand by to pick up survivors.
And it's kind of implied in this episode that, yeah, sometimes there are survivors, which probably means there are Aquamphibians somewhere in Marineville's jail. Although if it's anything like how they treat Noctis and Grupper, they're probably let out very lightly. Oh dear, yes. Ali Kali just floats out the Terrorfish airlock.
Eyes peeled.
Troy and Phones and El Hudat are up on deck.
I can't wait.
And that's a fun thing they've done there with the puppet to... They've done something to the mouth mechanism to make him be able to spurt water. I think I can only remember seeing one other puppet do that, and that was Zuni in Space Pirates.
We'll fish them out when they're through.
So now the two brothers are in the water, having a fight, just kind of rolling backwards and forwards. Troy and Phones are having a great time watching this, but unfortunately, all too soon, it's over.
Chill the cold.
Yeah.
Okay, Phones, let's get them aboard.
I've seen enough of them brutalizing each other for one day.
Say, Troy, I can't tell the one from the other. Can you?
No, I can't. They look identical. Okay, gentlemen.
Well, this is all very convenient for Troy, who doesn't like either of them.
Now, which of you is Al Hudat?
He is. He is.
Yes, they both have
One of them's lying.
same style of clothes, or exact same clothes, same
Tell
hairstyle,
us how we can find out.
they talk the same way, they have the same voice, the same size.
Go ahead, Troy.
This is going to be a pickle.
We've got them mixed up again, sir.
Oh dear. Luckily we need someone rational and logical to think this out.
Yeah, I sympathize with your problem.
Unfortunately for them, we have Commander Shaw,
Way to do it. Here's what to do.
who's got his smiling face on, so you know this isn't going to end well for the brothers. Also interesting, they've got what seem to be machine guns right outside the jail cell. That's always handy if anyone manages to escape.
Ali, you've got the wrong man.
I don't figure it that way, Your Excellency.
Release me. I'm Ali Kali, I tell you.
Listen, you guys. One of you is Ali Kali and one is El Hudat. I happen to have you both behind bars, so I figure I must have the right man.
Why?
It does seem as though, and I'm not entirely sure this is right, but I think because we see
I'm Ali Kali.
Ali Kali float out of the Terrorfish with a fez, and only one of these two has a fez, it's easy enough to tell them apart. But unfortunately for them, Commander Shaw has decided, just leave them to it. Leave them arguing in Marineville jail for the rest of their lives, presumably. Stop the podcast. Yeah, I've just been and checked, and actually it isn't like that at all. They both lose their fezzes during the fight in the water, and when Troy and Phones tie them up and bring them aboard Stingray, neither of them has one, so I guess one of them was given a fez at some point after being arrested. Don't know why, but there we go. Ignore everything I said there. Now, let's see if I can say anything else worthwhile before I wrap this one up. I mean, I guess it got all sorted out off screen and someone was returned home, but there we go, that was Eastern Eclipse, one of the final episodes of Stingray to be produced. And that's so much fun. It doesn't really rely too much on knowing what happened in Star of the East, because the story is just, you know, it's entirely different. I think probably I prefer this one to Eastern Eclipse. No, this is Eastern Eclipse. I prefer this episode to this episode. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I prefer this one to Star of the East. Even though Star of the East is also a very good episode, it introduces the character of El Hudat very strongly. You spend a lot more time with him than you do here, but I'm always a sucker, I guess, for any time that Titan gets involved with humans and schemes that involve things going on land, because I've always found it interesting that he takes that kind of interest, and the people of Titanica have a bit more going on than just blow up Stingray. This week, his plot this week didn't even involve Stingray. He was as surprised as anyone when Stingray showed up to thwart his plan. Poor old Titan. Anywho, yes, I would say on the whole that's a jolly good episode of Stingray, with a very well, it's very entertaining all the way through. Lots of destruction at Marineville, lots of silly bits, lots of good old Titan stuff. Yeah, all around good fun. Love it.